Now we know that the entire contents of our program won't be stored inside of our source files. We're going to be dividing everything up into different files, and in the end those files will come together to make our final program. Because if we stored all of our information inside of our program, well, every time we restart it, we would lose all the information we had inside those variables and all that. Right? If we want to actually save some things, we're going to have to be saving them inside of files and not inside of our source code itself. So we're going to start off these last few videos to end off the series looking at how we can create files and work with files in C++. So today we're going to look at how we can simply create a file in our code. How can we make a file and add some content to it inside of our C++ code itself? So I already wrote everything here because there's not a lot going on. We'll start off by adding a new preprocessor command. We're adding fstream here. So we're going to hashtag include fstream in triangle braces, and you can think of fstream as file stream. It's going to allow us to input and output files to our program. You can also think of iostream, the one we've been using for the other 50 videos in this series, the first 50. That is for inputting and outputting data. So fstream, think of f as file. That is doing the same job, but instead of data, it's all files. So inside of our main, I'm going ahead and I'm using the keyword ofstream. So remember that, ofstream, and I'm going to do something similar to what we did with the objects, right? We can write whatever we want, and whenever we use that object, we know it's related to something, say a class. In this case, whenever we create this object, it is going to be related to the file we're going to create. So remember, this is a little word we create here. You can think of it as an object. We're going to use it like a dot separator here as well. So I created the lemming object for this file, if you will. So I have lemming here. I put a dot separator, and then I write the word open. And now if the name of the file that I'm going to write is not existent, it's going to create it for me. So remember, I'll show you guys where the directory is and where everything will be appearing when you create files and where you need to put the files when you want to work with them. We'll look at that in a moment. But here, I'm going to be passing through a string of text. That means you have to put it in quotation marks. It's going to be the name with the extension with quotation marks around it. So I'm going to be passing through new file.txt. I do not have this created already, so it will create it for me, and that's all in brackets, and we end that line off with a semicolon. Now let's go ahead and input some things into the file. So I'm just going to write lemming. So I'm writing the name of this object that I created to access the file. Now I'm going to say, similar to what we did with the output, right? You know, we put the C out and then we had these arrows pointing to it. We're going to do the same thing, but now instead of a C out, we have lemming, which is going to allow us to access the new file.txt. And now I want to say, I want you to put inside of this file content of the file. That's just what I want, that text, right? It's in quotation marks. I want this exact text, content of the file, to go inside the file, and I end that line off with a semicolon. Now once you've finished everything, you're going to want to close your files. We can use the keyword lemming to access the file new file.txt. So I use lemming, a dot separator, and then the keyword close with nothing in the brackets. That will close the file, and it will allow me to finish everything up. And it's always speaking to the file it's connected to. In this case, it's new file.txt. So I'm not going to go ahead and build and run anything just yet. I want to show you guys where everything is located. So if you're going to go up here to Xcode, you're going to click File over here, and you're going to go down to, not Xcode here, you're going to click on, Xcode, sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. You go to Xcode and you click on Preferences. You're going to go here and you're going to click to the location over here. The location's the last tab you have here, and you're going to have something called derived data. You can keep it default, and you're going to see this address right over here. So you can go ahead and actually click on the arrow here to go find it in your Finder. Remember, I'm doing this on a Mac, but you'll just have to find your derived data folder or whatever folder is allowed to put your files to import whatever program you're using to write your code. So I'm going to actually click on that. I have it open here already. So I have it all open here, and it's going to give it to this place here. It's in the Xcode file, and we have a place called derived data. And if I go ahead and click on that, now I see I have all of my video files here. See, I made a new folder for each video, so I have all my things. I'll find the one corresponding to the program I'm running. So I'm here in video 51. You have all these random strings of text at the end. That's not me who did that. I'm not that childish. So I'm going to go into video 51. Now you're going to go into the build folder inside of there, and you're going to go into the products folder. And then you go into debug. I know it's a long process. And this is our file that we're working with right now. Now all of our files that we're going to be creating, say the new file.txt that we're trying to create right now, will end up appearing somewhere in here. So watch what I'm going to go do. See, there's nothing in here that looks like new file.txt. I'm going to close this here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build and run this. Now remember, I'm not outputting anything to my screen. We see build succeeded, and we don't have anything popping up down here in our preview. The reason is because I'm not outputting anything to the screen. Instead, I'm outputting it to the lemming file, whatever file is corresponding to lemming, which is new file.txt. Now if I were to go back into the Finder over here and open up the same debug, and now all of a sudden we have new file.txt appearing right over here, created right now. So if I go ahead and open this up, we opened up new file.txt, and now we have the text that I asked for. I asked for content of the file, and we have the exact text appearing inside of our newfile.txt. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to have a few more videos on files to close off the C++ series. If you have any questions regarding this, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll be back with more content in a minute.